Hello everyone. Today I'm going to show you how I do ribeyes. And as you can see in the video, the first step we're going to take is to pat them dry very thoroughly with a paper towel. Now the next step you want to take is to coat them very thoroughly in salt and let them sit for about an hour at room temperature. Now doing this will not dry the meat out in any way. The salt actually draws moisture out of the meat, and as it sits, it'll draw back in through the act of osmosis. Pre-seasoning this way ensures that the salt will be evenly distributed through the whole piece of meat, and therefore you won't have to worry about seasoning it later, and it'll be fine right when it comes off the grill. While the steaks sit, I'm going to start working on the mashed potatoes. I've got 2 pounds of Yukon Gold potatoes that I'm going to peel and chop into even pieces and put in cool water to get ready to boil. Once the potatoes are in the water, you just want to season them very well with salt and then put them over high heat and boil them until they can be pierced very easily with a fork or a knife. Usually around 15 to 20 minutes. Now, while the potatoes are boiling, we're going to get the other parts of the mashed potatoes ready. Here I've got buttermilk, heavy cream, butter, thyme, green onions, and garlic. Any other flavorings will do, any spices, dried or fresh. Here I'm just going to get these in a pot with all the liquid and let them steep for a few minutes and warm up so we can mix them into the mashed potatoes later. For this, I have about half a cup of heavy cream and about a cup and a half of buttermilk. Any kind of milk will do. I like to use buttermilk because the acid in it helps cut through all the heavy cheese and cream that we're adding. Now, once the potatoes are done, you want to mash them. For this, I'm going to use a ricer, or you could use a hand masher or anything like that. I would not suggest using an electric beater like some people do, because then they can get really gummy and tough, and you just ruin the texture of them. Once your potatoes are mashed, you want to get your liquid portion and pour about half of it in through a sieve, just to make sure you don't get any of the pieces of herb in there. After you pour about half in, mix it up and taste it and see where the texture is. You might need more, you might need less. Once you get the mashed potatoes seasoned how you like them, they're perfectly fine to eat as is. I'm going to put mine in a baking dish and melt some cheddar cheese on top. Like I said, these mashed potatoes are fine as is. Any cheese on top would work. Parmesan, anything that melts well and browns nicely would be perfect. Now we're going to grill the steaks. I've had my grill preheating at the highest temperature for about 30 minutes to make sure it's nice and hot. The only other thing you have to do before you put the steaks on the grill is give them one more good pat down with a paper towel, season them with a little bit of pepper, and then optionally you can put a little olive oil or cooking oil on them. Not necessary. After about a minute and a half with the steaks on the grill with the lid closed, I like to open it up and give them a little bit of a rotation. Just in case there's a hot spot on the grill, you can make sure you're not going to burn a spot and that everything is cooking evenly. After about 2 minutes on the first side, maybe a little more, you can go ahead and flip them. If you end up having to flip them more than once, not a big deal. That doesn't really affect them in any way. Once your steaks are off the grill and resting, if you're doing the potatoes like I did it, just put some cheese on them and stick them under the broiler for a minute or two until they're brown, and everything's ready. These came out to be pretty much medium rare, maybe a little over, but with ribeyes, you can go over and they're still great. Hey, come here. Hey, Dixie, come here. Sit. 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 There you go. Easy. Didn't even chew it.